Jack, and this is my channel, which I use to discuss transition from female to male. And so in this live stream, I'm happy to just hang out with other trans people, or just to answer any questions that you might have. So join in and let's have a discussion. I've got tea as well, so British. Yeah, so come and hang out with me and let's have some fun discussing trans stuff for an afternoon, shall we? My name's Zach and I'm a trans guy living in the UK. So I'm just here doing a live stream so you can ask any questions you might have about what it's like to be a transgender person living in England, or just maybe if you're not trans, then ask me any questions that you have about what it's like to be transgender or transitioning and that sort of thing. So you can leave comments or get involved with the discussion. So yeah, I'm going to be live for a while, just answering anybody's questions. So yeah, feel free to ask anything you want, or if you're trans, then simply, we can hang out for a bit. I don't really know that many trans people from where I live, so I'm happy to just have some trans chat, if you will, with my British cup of tea. So yeah, come and say hi, or don't, that's fine too. I think there's a space which you can use to chat. Yeah, there is. If you scroll down, you can leave a chat. So I'll be happy to answer all questions. So let me know if you have any questions. Hi, Annie. I don't know if the sound's working all right. I think it is, but yeah. Okay, so I've just seen someone else has started following the link as well. So for you who's just joined, hello. My name's Zach, and I'm documenting my transition on YouTube, and decided to do a live stream today so that you can all ask any questions that you might have about what it's like to be transgender and living in, well, I live in England, but I know a lot of people who follow me in the US, so yeah, I can talk about what that's like. So yeah. I think that people should be able to join in conversation as well if they have their mic on. Yeah. So I'll just chat a bit about myself, I guess. This is kind of awkward. I've never done a live stream before, so this could be an experience that we might not want to repeat, but give it a go for now. I didn't choose the best location either, but there was a light nearby, so I figured I'd sit here. Okay, so I'm, like I said, my name's Zach, and oh, hi Ed, how you doing? Nice to see you here. That's cool. We could talk and hang out too. Okay, so I'll just do a quick introduction on me and who I am. So my name is Zach. I'm 22 years old. I live in England in the United Kingdom, and I'm a trans guy. So if you're not trans, then or you're not too sure on terminology, that means that I was assigned female when I was born, that I'm transitioning to to be male, although I already identify as male, and I know I know that my identity is male. I wasn't born physically male, so I'm taking steps to change that, I guess, simply put. So feel free to ask any questions you want, and I'm more than happy to answer anything. So let me know. I think that people should be able to, viewers should be able to get involved with actual conversation. So you can either leave a comment in the little messenger section that's below the description box, or I'm sure that you should be able to actually join in actual conversation and speak as well. So let's try and set that up. Have a look now. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Well, anyhow, I'll try and work that out for next time, if there's a next time. But for now, we'll have to communicate with the chat. So, like I've been saying, I'm living in England, in the United Kingdom, and so my experiences of being transgender are predominantly from living in England. I've never lived in another country, but I have travelled and have some experience of being trans in other countries. But like I've been saying, mostly, for the most part, I'm just experiencing being trans in England. So I follow a lot of American YouTubers and also Canadian. And it's interesting to see the difference of being trans in the UK and in the US, Canada, obviously. I think it's fantastic that we have the NHS in England and we can access healthcare and access to hormones and surgeries if we want them. So that's great stuff. And at a fraction of the cost that people in the United States have to. So that's interesting. And yes, Ed, I'm coming up to 4 months on testo gel. Well, 3.5 months, I think, to be exact, or somewhere around that stage. So I can talk about testo gel if you want, if you're still interested in that. Let me know. I'm just rambling to the camera right now, so it'd be great if anybody has any particular questions that they want to know. I'm happy to answer. So for those of you who are watching and don't know, my name is Zach and I'm a trans guy living in England, documenting my transition on YouTube and also hoping to help some other people who are transitioning as well. I started making videos when I was about 17 and I'm now 22. I did have another channel, but then I set this one up to specifically document my transition. So it's been a while I've been on YouTube, but I've never done a live stream before, so this is just interesting as an experience, and it's kind of weird talking to my camera and not having anybody talk back, even though it's live. So a bit about my transition. Where to start? So I'm 22 years old now, and I realized I was trans when I was 15. I was still in school, and I had just, well, I was at a boarding school, and so I was living at home during, I was living at the school during the week and coming home at the weekends, and that was an interesting experience as a trans person, having to live in an extremely gendered environment because the boarding houses were separated by gender. And when you are a young trans kid, that can be quite tough, I think, having to live in an environment where you are being forced to live and you can't choose which gender house that you want to stay in. I mean, that is deeply rooted in our society, things divided by gender. So I didn't come out when I was at school because, first of all, I was really only just coming to terms with being trans. I didn't know anybody else who was trans. I barely only knew what the word transgender meant. So I kept that to myself for a little bit and didn't say anything. But then when I came to terms with being trans a bit more, then when I was 16, that's when I wrote a letter. I finally, over the internet, I managed to talk to a trans woman, and that was really when I understood what trans means, and that I accepted. I didn't fully accept being trans, but I understood that identity reflects my identity. So she encouraged me to write a letter to tell my mum, and so I did that. I wrote an A4 page, like a notebook A4 page, explaining that I didn't feel female and that I should have been born a boy. In more words than that, I explained that yes, I was a happy person, but that I would be much happier living as myself, living as the boy that I knew that I was, but obviously no one else knew that. So from there, nothing really happened. She took the letter, which I was terrified about all of this. I think anybody who's ever come out as anything is always pretty scared, and that sense of unknown. You don't know how the person is going to react, but you put it out there and you wait and you see. So I did that, and I didn't speak to her for a week. I avoided her. I completely avoided her. I was at home by this point. It was the summer holidays, so I was living at home, but I just freaked out, panicked, and just avoided any conversation or communication with her until the Sunday of that week. So I think I must have given her the letter on the Monday, and so on Sunday morning, I got told to sit down in the kitchen on Sunday morning, and my dad was there too, and they asked about the letter and what it meant, but they weren't very understanding. They were confused, which is understandable. My parents are of an older generation than most parents might have. Like my friends, my parents have always been older than other parents of children my age. So that was hard in itself because it meant that they weren't really familiar with anything LGBT. They didn't understand what LGBT meant. So that was a difficult time because I'd only really recently come to understand what T in LGBT meant, but they really were quite unsure on everything other than they knew what gay meant. So it was hard, and a lot of things were said, but nothing really happened from there. Things were just not spoken about for a long time. So after that incident, nothing happened. so that it was unspoken of. That's the easiest way to put it. And that probably lasted for another 2 or 3 years. And then finally, I said one day whilst we were in the car that I still felt the same way as when I wrote that letter. Bye, Ed. Thank you for joining, and I'll make sure that I keep in contact with you because you always message me. So thank you for watching so far. Have a good day at work. Bye. So that is my early coming out story. And then, because nothing happened since then, I was very scared to be me. And I was scared of being disowned or ostracized, or anything. I was very scared that I would lose my family, which I think is the case for a lot of LGBT people. Being scared that we'll lose the family sort of network, not network, but that family sense of belonging. And I really didn't want to lose that, so I kind of just existed for a while, but not very openly, until I started university. So from my boarding school, I left the boarding school because I wasn't enjoying it, and like I said, it was very gendered, and maybe at the time that wasn't a primary reason for me leaving. But it did impact my life greatly, and the type of school it wasn't for me. So then I came back to my hometown where my family home is, and I went to a college there. And the college, I really liked the college. I could wear my home clothes. I didn't have to wear a school uniform or a uniform of any kind. And the whole gendered barriers, I didn't have those at college. And I started to become more confident and comfortable. So that was good. And then at college, I came out to my friends and asked them to use a gender neutral nickname and male pronouns. So that was a really good start for me, and I'm thankful that I didn't really lose many friends from doing that. And then when I, oh, okay, hello Ash, or Sasha, did I say that right? Sasha? Okay, so do you prefer Ash or Sasha? Thank you for joining in this live stream. Okay, hello Sasha. Nice of you to join me in this live stream, and welcome. Thank you. So Um, are you out to any friends or anybody else, or are you um, still in the closet? Maybe. I think you're right. It's a scary time, um, but I can't promise that things will be okay with your parents. Okay, so that's good that your girlfriend and best friend know. It gives you, I think, for me at least, and I hope maybe you have a similar good experience with this, but when you at least have some people who know about you and can honor your name and the pronouns that you use, whether it's any kind of pronouns, male pronouns, female pronouns, gender neutral pronouns, the pronouns that you prefer, that you use for yourself, having at least some people in your life, maybe for you, your girlfriend and your best friend, who can, um, you know, respect your identity as, you know, as a trans person. So I think that's good that you have some people in your life who can do that. Um, then when you can kind of, if you know what I mean by testing the water, you can test gradually with your family to see how they react to LGBT things or trans things. I know here in England, I think maybe, are you in France? So I know here in England and America and in sort of westernized places, and you know France is very westernized too. Um, it's a kind of, I guess, media representation. Um, yeah, so sorry, I was just replying to your message. So, media representation and seeing how your parents react and respond to LGBT stories in the news or on the TV, um, the television, radio, newspapers, magazines, uh, all that kind of thing. And maybe watch them when they're listening to it or seeing it and see how do they respond. If is it negative, positive, or is it just neutral? Do they not really care? Are they disengaged, disinterested? Um, that's how I that's how I gauged my parents and my family. So um, for me, I noticed that whenever the TV, the television was on, or the radio, if anything to do with LGBT, anything to do with equal marriage, to do with gay people or trans people, they would turn the TV off, or they would turn the radio down. They would turn the radio down or off. They would change the channel. They would change the station. So that's how I learned from them that they were very, very uncomfortable with anything LGBT, anything gay, trans, so unaccepting of it. So, but today they're starting to be more tolerable. So I think that's something that you could maybe try and see how they react. And like in the messages we're saying now, there's a YouTuber, a trans guy. His name is Max, I think. Yes, his name is Max, and he is French. And I will find his YouTube channel for you, and maybe that will be good for maybe you to watch some things. I mean, it must be nice to be able to watch some French YouTube videos rather than just all the English ones, because I think that's mainly what YouTube is made up of in the trans community, mostly English and Spanish YouTube videos. So, yeah. Is there anything that you would like to know or anything that you want to talk about in particular? I'm happy to answer any questions. Any questions that you want to know, I'm happy to answer or try and help in any way I can. Yeah. No worries, Sasha. I'm really thank you for coming and stopping by here. It was really nice to talk to you briefly, and I hope to talk to you soon. Have a good day, and talk to you later. I'll message you. Have a good day. Yeah. So I don't know how long I'll be here for, but if you want to talk with me, whether it's on the chat below, under the description bar, feel free to leave a message there and we can chat there. Or if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can send me a message. Send me a message on my YouTube channel, or you can send me a message on Tumblr. My Tumblr URL is roadmap Zach, the same as my YouTube channel. So that's roadmap RMAP Zach and ZACH. So feel free to drop me a message privately if you don't feel comfortable messaging below, and I'm always happy to to talk about anything with you. Okay, so cool. Uh, so Annie, about passports, what is it that you are confused about? So to get a new passport, what you need to do, so this is really only applicable to people in the United Kingdom, mostly more directly to England, because God knows what's going to happen with Scotland. But okay, so what you have to do is you need to go to the direct.gov website. and I'll find a link actually. And you have to, you don't, so you'll get a new passport, but you don't apply for a new passport in the same way that you apply for a first-time passport. So when you go to the website, it has different options. It has options if you are under 16, over 16, whether you're a UK citizen but living abroad, or whether it's your first time getting a passport, or whether you're renewing a passport, or whether your passport was lost or stolen. I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. I will be right back. Hi guys, so I'm back. Sorry about that. I won't be able to stay for too long. I have to go out soon. Sorry about that. But I'm more than happy to do this again. But for the time being, I'll just talk about passports again quickly. Since you asked Annie, yeah. So you have to apply. There is a specific. It's not a specific application form that you have to fill in, but there is a section online on the direct.gov website which is for trans people, because obviously they now are aware that trans people would like to change their passports. So just a couple of top tips for, I don't know if someone else is, I know that there's someone else watching as well. So in case that they are looking to do the same, you don't need a gender recognition certificate to change your passport's gender. All you need to do is you get a letter either from your gender clinic doctor or your GP. GP is probably easy because you can do that whenever. And my GP took a while to do it because he was unsure on the process and he didn't want to admit that he didn't know what he was doing, so instead it took him weeks to do it. But if you take in a template and your GP can look at that template and it'll say, I hereby declare that your name is living as the gender, insert gender, and is under the care of blah, blah, blah. I can make a whole video on this, actually, if you want me to do that. I've got a copy of the letter that I got from my GP, and you have to send that letter with a deed poll and what's it called? Sorry, complete mind blank. Okay, so all you need to do is you send like a cover letter to say that you would like to change your passport, blah, 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 and your name, if your name is still your old name in your passport, as well as your gender, have the letter from your GP or psychiatrist or gender specialist to say that, yes, my patient is under my clinic and is living as this gender and has changed their name and is transitioning from blah 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 to blah blah blah, or is trans. You can use any, at the same time as you're doing that, you can change to use any title, whether it's Mr., Mrs., Miss, Mix, MX, and all that jazz. I hope that that has helped slightly. I know that's not very comprehensive, but I can make a whole video on that, or I can directly message you with some links as well. Hope that helped. I'm just trying to find the website. So okay, so it's the gov.uk, not direct.gov. Sorry. So I'm going to put this link in the chat box below. So the link that's in the chat now is a link to the www.gov.uk website, and it's guidance for changing your passport if you are trans. So through this is the same website which you can use to it's the HM Passport Office, Her Majesty's Passport Office, and renew your adult passport. I should also mention that in this option you also can send a more up-to-date picture of yourself for free. So I really, really recommend doing that. My passport I only got in April and is already looking really outdated. I've also lost my passport. I should really sort that out. I've been meaning to do that today, so thank you for reminding me. So you can, what you'll need to do though is you will need a counter-signatory to prove that you are the same person. And this is not just for trans people, this is for anybody under the age of 18, I believe. They have to have the photo signed by someone who is not a family member. So a significant other, I think, can sign the photo, just as long as you are not married. So girlfriend, boyfriend, best friend, neighbor, any of those kind of people. So, you know, when you did your depol, or if you've done depol to other people watching this, when you did your depol, you had a witness to countersign. Similarly, the back of your photo will need to be signed with a declaration saying, I hereby declare or state that this is likeliness to the person, and then date it and sign it. They need to, that other person, the witness, needs to date and sign it. That's specifically if you aren't recognizable in your previous photo, or whether your passport is lost, stolen, or damaged. Okay, so thank you for everybody who has, I know that there haven't been many of you, but I thank you all of the same. It's been great to chat with you all and to talk to some different new people that I've never spoken to before, and I hope that I've helped at least in some way. Thank you for listening to me ramble my story of coming out. I can make another video on that if it's wanted. And as said, I will make a video on how to change your passport if you're a UK citizen. So for now, I'm really sorry I have to go now. I've got someone I need to meet. But thanks again for watching. It's been fantastic to talk to some new people, and I'll see you next time. So I'm going to stop the broadcast now. If there's anything that you would like to know, or if you think this was kind of cool and we could do it again, send me a message, leave a comment or anything. Again, I'm on Tumblr, and always very happy to receive messages on Tumblr and YouTube. If you're struggling, I'm here to listen. If you need some advice, I can try and do my best. Or even if, I'm always really eager and happy to speak to other trans people. Like I said, where I live, there's not a very big LGBT scene, and trans scene is even smaller. So always happy to communicate with you. Okay, love you, bye.